To our top story, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is criticizing the RNC for approving a resolution that described the Capitol riot as, quote, legitimate political discourse. Nikole Killion has more.
The highest-ranking Republican official in the Senate is making his stance clear when it comes to the deadly January 6th attack on the Capitol.
It was a violent insurrection for the purpose of trying to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
Tuesday, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell criticized the Republican National Committee for censuring Wyoming's Liz Cheney and Illinois' Adam Kinzinger for serving on the House Select Committee investigating the insurrection. It was the language of the RNC resolution to censure members of its own party that struck a nerve, stating that Cheney and Kinzinger chose to join Nancy Pelosi in a Democrat-led persecution of ordinary citizens who engaged in legitimate political discourse. But members of the January 6th committee are firing back.
Ask the Capitol Police officers if the people they interacted with were engaged in legitimate political discourse. It's just, at a human level, it's just maddening.
5 people died after a pro-Trump mob breached the Capitol building after former President Trump made repeated false claims that the 2020 election was stolen. RNC Chair Ronna McDaniel claims the party's position is being distorted and wrote, "Violence is not legitimate political discourse, whether in the U.S. Capitol or in Democrat-run cities across the country."
The issue is whether or not the RNC should be sort of singling out members of our party who may have different views from the majority. That's not the job of the RNC.
House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy has dodged questions about the censure resolution, but Conference Chair Elise Stefanik said that the RNC does have every right to take any action. Now, keep in mind, there are some House Republicans who would like Cheney and Kinzinger to be expelled from the conference, but she told me that did not come up in their meeting this week, guys.
So you say Kevin McCarthy has been sort of dodging questions. I presume that he hasn't been critical of the RNC, or I don't know if he's saying anything about what he has heard from his Senate counterpart. But, Republicans typically sort of get in line behind the message, at least when they're talking publicly. So what are we to make of what we're seeing now?
Yeah, well, there's a definite split, but it's kind of been there really since, the days after the 6th. I mean, as far as Kevin McCarthy is concerned, many reporters have tried to throw him questions in the hallway, so he's given some limited responses, but really hasn't answered in full exactly what his position is on this resolution and his take on this phrase, legitimate political discourse. What he has said thus far is that, part of this resolution it stems in part from concern that some RNC members were targeted by subpoenas from the January 6th Select Committee, or at least he alluded to that in a response to one reporter earlier this week. And that has been, for instance, a gripe that Chair Ronna McDaniel has had that, some people, in her view, have been unfairly targeted, including members of the RNC who, weren't even here on January 6th. But that being said, this whole issue of legitimate political discourse, I mean, you heard very clearly from Leader McConnell yesterday saying this was a violent insurrection. And again, since the days after January 6th, we have continued to see this push and pull among Republican members, rank and file especially, about that day. You have some members who have gone so far as to say, well, it was just a protest, it was just a tourist visit. Others who have called it what it was, which was an insurrection. And so, once again, this censure resolution is kind of bringing in that rift into full view.
Yeah, Nikole, I don't know, maybe some of our viewers may be too young to remember the 11th commandment that was made popular by former President Ronald Reagan. Thou shalt not speak ill of any Republican. Right. We are not in that world right now. And the question, of course, is how does the RNC stance show the continued influence of former President Trump, or perhaps not, given that we've seen Mitch McConnell, Chris Christie, and others, Larry Hogan, sort of breaking with the president over this?
Yeah, and we have seen them break with the former president before. I mean, look, this resolution was drafted in part by David Bossie, who is an aide of the former president. And, there was a lot of back and forth as far as the language was concerned. And even some members at that winter meeting in Salt Lake City, were kind of, their feathers were kind of ruffled by the way this was all rolled out. Many members didn't get to see the language until kind of the 11th hour. Again, there was a lot of back and forth as to whether or not, for instance, Cheney and Kinzinger, this resolution should call for them to be expelled from the conference, which, as I mentioned, has been something that many members here on Capitol Hill, more conservative members here on the Hill, have been pushing for. So, there are even some members within the RNC who want this resolution repealed. So clearly, this is a story that is not going away for the Republicans, and it doesn't come at a really great time for them from the standpoint of, they really wanted to kickstart this year heading into the midterm cycles. They feel that they have the wind at their back, and that, this really is their election to take. They have been exuded a lot of confidence that they can take the majority, not only in the House, but potentially in the Senate. And they've talked about having this unified message. And then straight out of the gate, you have this resolution that, again, kind of points to these rifts and the divisions over January 6th. And we know that the former president is going to continue to be a force within the midterms. We have seen him, do rallies in Texas recently and other places, not really expected to slow down in that regard. So this is likely to be an issue that continues to come up over and over again.
All right, Nikole, thank you very much.